But that bond that's built within it, of going through shared hardships, going through shared stuff, embracing the suck. I mean, that's where, like, when we're going through that workout, I'm going to look over at these two guys, and they're just going to give me.
If you were given the chance to join ROTC again, would you do it?
Go ahead.
Yes, I would. The joke's on ROTC, honestly, because, like, you know, like the commitment that you make, right, is you sign that contract, and it's I'll pay for your school, pay for your either, like, you know, tuition, housing, things like that, and then you owe us time back after you graduate. And I was like, joke's on you, I was going to enlist anyway. So, so yeah, I would totally do it again.
Yeah, I would also totally do it. I mean, it's a lot of work. You know, it's a grind for sure, but it's very rewarding, and you know, you get to give back to your country in a good way. And there's a lot of good experiences that come out of it too. So
good friends too. Don't forget, really good friends. You meet a lot of cool people.
How did you decide what you wanted to branch?
I always knew I wanted to branch infantry, because if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it all the way. Like, that was kind of like one of the attitudes I always had. But also, I always had dreams of doing, going farther in my career than just frontline. Like, I want to go into the more special operations, the more unique operations, the more elite of the military community. And not to say that, like, elite means better, but in a way that they do things differently. And I wanted to be exposed to those, and I think the best way to do that is infantry. And infantry gives you the most varied experiences and the most opportunities, I think, when it comes to, like, what I want to do, which is HUA stuff. I'm not saying, like, that takes anything away from any of the other branches, but I would say, like, if you want to do, like, the most HUA, jumping out of airplanes, combat dive, things like that, infantry is the way to go. And that's kind of what I want to do.
And would you say that branch matched your personality well?
Totally.
Or did you have to conform to it?
100%. I match my personality. I am loud, I am motivated, driven physically and driven mentally, and I love pressure. Like, I'm really good with dealing with pressure, really good with dealing with stress, and so it was a perfect match. I loved it.
So what was the process for you deciding how to branch?
So a lot of it was when I came here, I really wanted to do nursing. And our year, we weren't allowed to do nursing. So I was like, okay, let's still stay in the healthcare and go PA. I decided to do that, you know, for 3 years here at Carroll. After summer camp, I was looking at a lot of the classes that I needed to apply to PA schools, and I was like, well, I don't have those. And then at my internship, I really started to second guess whether or not it was something I still wanted to pursue. And so then when I got back, I just decided aviation is going to be the route that I think I'll enjoy more.
And do you like flying?
I do like flying.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
How did you balance ROTC and student life?
You just got to find that balance, right? Because I mean, ROTC is a lot of work. You have PT 4 days a week at 6 a.m. and then you have lab and stuff like that. But you just have to find that time with your friends, and it's helpful to have friends in ROTC who have the same schedule as you. But I mean, and on weekends too, you're really, besides like homework and stuff from school, you're not helped that much on the weekends. So you have that time to be with your friends, you know, do what you want, do your homework, but it's not as hard as it may seem, I think, to find that time for yourself and for your friends.
I guess, yeah, freshman year, I thought it was pretty easy to balance academics and ROTC at the same time. And then as you started climbing up in the classes and they started getting harder and harder, I noticed I started sacrificing sleep a lot for academics and ROTC. And so if that's something that you can balance or learn to balance very quickly, that's a great skill to have.
I think time management, right? Like, I mean, basically this comes down to time management and understanding how to balance time. I mean, I don't love to use the phrase, but it's like, it's part of, I mean, for incoming freshmen, you're 18. This is the first time where you're going to probably be out on your own, more likely than not. And so nobody's there to remind you to go to PT at 6 in the morning, or to go to practice at 6 in the morning, or to do your homework on time, or do things like that. So it comes down to discipline, number one. Like, being disciplined will help you a lot. but also just making the conscious decision that you're going to do what's right and do what's required of you all the time. I mean, this is time to be an adult. Got to manage your time right, got to come in. It isn't that hard if you don't let it be that hard. Like, I think it is also a mindset thing. Like, if you're going to go into it and be like, oh, my life is so hard, academics is so hard, football is so hard, ROTC is so hard. Yeah, of course it's going to be hard. It's going to be miserable. You're going to hate it. But if you come into this attitude like, I want to be here and I want to do these things and I chose this stuff, because you did. I mean, you chose to go to college. You chose to do ROTC. You chose to do any of your other extracurricular things. So don't act like it's not what you want to do. That's the thing I think would help you the most with like mindset is like Tug brought up a great point about friends. Yeah, that's something you want to do. Of course you want to do that. But don't act like you don't want to do ROTC also, or you don't want to do school because you're here. You want to do it. So that's how I think like it would help you a lot if you came in with the right mindset.
As student athletes and a band musician, did you find those activities manageable with ROTC?
I mean, I wouldn't change a single thing. Honestly, I mean, it is. It is a lot of work. You know, that one day that people get to sleep in for PT, Joe and I are at practice at 5:30. You know, and then your weekends get taken up a lot with sports. So there goes that. So it's a huge commitment to play sports as well. Mm-hmm. And you don't. I mean, you lose a lot of free time. It's a full-time job. ROTC, sports, and school. It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
But like he was saying, time management and finding that balance, that's just something that you learn. You know, it might be a little tougher at first, but then you learn how to do it. You learn your priorities, and then you be responsible. You do the right thing, like he was saying. You show up to everything you're supposed to be at. You work hard, and I mean, if you got that right mindset, then you can do it.
So not much free time, but lots of fulfilled time.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's totally possible. I mean, anybody that comes into this and they're like, oh, it's overwhelming or anything like that, because I see that all the time. People are like, how do you do all these things? Not for like me personally, but how are you supposed to do all those things? Just a question. Dude, I went through school. I got a very good GPA. I did ministry work, led small groups. I was a vice president of a club. You did ROTC, did football. Like, it's possible. You can do as much as you want to do as long as you get those skills in the right mindset. Like, don't sell yourself short. And especially because college, this is one of the last times you're going to get to do that much. Because once you guys start, like once everybody starts a real job, and especially if you, like those of you watching that choose to do the military, those options go out the window. You know, you don't have all those options because you have a full-time commitment that you're being paid to do and being expected to do. So it's not like you're 9 to 5. You know, it's not like you can, and then you guys are gonna have family, and you guys are maybe gonna have a wife and a kid or husband and kids, and it's like you think you got time. You think you have time later. You're crazy. You're gonna have way less time later. So take this opportunity in college to make the most of your time and never say no. Like, say yes to every opportunity because maybe you'll love it. And at least you tried if you didn't.
What is the most important quality in cadets, and how can they develop that quality?
What comes to my mind is being open-minded and being like willing to learn. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you're going to come here and there's going to be people from all over the place, right? People with different like upbringings, all that type of stuff. So you need to be open-minded in the sense that not everyone is going to have the same leadership style as you. You know, not everyone is going to have the same qualities and beliefs that you do. So you need to be open-minded in that aspect in every sense of the word. And then the second one was willingness to learn. I mean, you don't know everything. You will never know everything. And I'm still learning every day about leadership qualities and learn from the people around you. Like, me and these guys have very different leadership like styles, but we can adapt and we can learn and pick up from each other what we like, you know, and what's the most effective. So always be willing to learn. You don't have all the knowledge and you don't have the best leadership style. Always adapt, always pick up from other people, and just always learn. That's what I would say.
I'll go. I think I can play right off that too, because I would say the number one quality is humility. That comes like right from the willingness to learn, right? But like, humility is this place of, it's not, you know, the best way I've always heard it described is it's not thinking less of oneself, but thinking of oneself less. And so it's like, when you go into the military, it is a service profession, right? And ROTC, I think it's different because everybody's a cadet from freshman year to senior year. Everybody's the same rank. So it's a lot of respect based. And I think there's no greater way to earn respect than when you're always humble with your peers. Like you easily dismiss your own achievements, and you can easily get along with people because you're willing to just accept the other plans. Like with what Tug was talking about, how we all have different leadership styles, I would add, not saying that what he said was wrong, but I'm just going to add on top of it with my value, that learning what other people do and learning from it, but then learning how to play ball with those other people. Like when Tug is in charge and I'm his platoon sergeant in cadet land, I know how Tug likes to lead because I've watched Tug lead, and I'm gonna play ball the way he likes to lead and play off his strengths because you got to make others around you look good. That's part of the military too. Is you don't want to leave people out to dry. You want to leave people to hang because that's messed up. It's a team. At the end of the day, it's a team, and if the top is failing, then everybody's failing, and if anyone along the way is failing, then everybody's failing. And it starts with your willingness to play ball. So just learn how to play with others. Play off other strengths, make them look good, and then work your tail off and just be humble about it.
Yeah, my word that comes to mind would be dependable. If you're that person that people can always look to, no matter if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or a senior, and they look at you and go, hey, I can go to this guy if I need help with absolutely anything, you're going to be well set off right off the bat. Especially as a freshman, if you're willing to do any tasks that the juniors or seniors need you to do, especially when we're out doing our tactical labs, you're going to get a lot more of the fun, more fulfilling aspects of those labs, and you're going to learn a lot more than you would be if you were like, no, I'm not going to do this, or you don't have that mindset of, I don't want to be here, this sucks. Like, can suck in the moment, but you're with other people that are going through the same suck as you, so know that, and know that if you can be the brighter side of it and be that guy that they can depend on, then you're going to be really good off for the remainder of your ROTC career.
What resources did you find most helpful for ROTC and specifically in preparing for Cadet Summer Training?
I would 100% just say the people around you.
Yeah.
The people around you. I mean, when you're a junior getting ready to go to CST, you have a good relationship, or at least you have a relationship with the other people around you. And then when you get to CST, which is Cadet Summer Training, you meet people there too, because it's going to be completely different people. Like I said, people from all over the place, and you find those people that you match well with. You get along with, and then you kind of just get each other through it. So to me, all those resources were just the people around me. Yeah. For me, that's always how it's been.
I would add, I guess, if resources in preparation for CST, I would also say cadre. Hopefully,
for sure.
I'll be critical. I'm not afraid to say it, but hopefully you have cadre that invest as much time in you as you would want to be invested in. Okay, if that's not the case, there are mentors readily available all across the military because there are really good people in the military if you just go out and reach out. Because your cadre members will know people, and even if they aren't the most helpful to you, or you don't think they're resonating with you very well, go and reach out to others. Find a way. But I would say that there are plenty of mentors who have been through what you're going through, and to find those people is awesome. I mean, a great example, and something that I wish I did, or something that we did do, but something that you could totally do, is the fours above obviously are always a resource because they've been through CST, but then you can also ask all of those fours, for the connections that they had of the people from previous classes, because they had fours at one point, and those fours had fours. And so all those people that are now LTs and maybe even captains have had these experiences. So reach out to those people and get phone numbers and get connections, get mentors, get people to, because the more you get your name out there, the better. But also on top of that, they have so much more knowledge and so much more they can give you than where you're at right now, which is a cadet getting ready for CST.
How did you build strong relationships with your fellow cadets?
I'm a very outgoing person, just automatically, so that really benefited me to just putting myself out there to where people can be like, hey, this guy's fun to be around, and also like, hey, I can relax around this guy and really just kind of be myself and be comfortable and break the ice as well. What I would say, like, you don't have to have everything in common with one another around you. Like, you're all there for ROTC, and you'll develop those friendships through, like, the embracing the suck, like we said earlier. Not everything's going to be 100% like awesome all the time. You're going to have the ups and downs, but it's when you can look to your left and right and go, okay, these guys can help me through with like anything, ROTC, school, or even if like you're just struggling with your first semester here at college. Like, they're the people to look forward to and really rely on.
I would just say, like Joe was talking about earlier, is like that respect piece. You know, if you're a respectful person and you do the right thing, and you're genuinely a good person, and I think people will be drawn to you. And then you build those relationships. You know, like if you're coming in as a freshman, you'll realize the people that you want to like lead. Like, you know, you'll find the people you want to like kind of take their qualities from, if that makes sense. And I think you just build relationships from there. Mm-hmm. Have conversations with people. You know, talk to them, ask them if they need help, stuff like that. You know, I think stuff like that just goes a long ways.
I think both of them are, you know, kind of hit it on the head. I think I just used the phrase, you reap what you sow. If you want relationship, you got to pour into people. Like, you reap what you sow, man. Like, if you put it out there, you'll get it back. I promise. And kind of what Travis said about being outgoing, and Tug said about being respectful. If you're outgoing and respectful, people are going to be outgoing and respectful back. It's just how it works.
What was your most painful smoke session?
When you come here, you'll learn about Ranger Challenge, which is like a training event that you'll do with 9 other people if you make the team. And so we were practicing gas masks one morning and carrying a Rescue Randy up Guad Hill, which you'll find out what Guad Hill is when you come here. It's just really steep, and a Rescue Randy is like 250 pounds, and we were practicing with gas masks because we knew that that's what the event would be. It would be carried Rescue Randy up a hill with gas masks on. And so we ran through that probably 3 or 4 different times. We made it back to the hack where we work out, and our cadre go, everybody on the sideline, and then we did Sweet 16. So it wasn't quite really a smoking session, but that was the first time ever since like track in high school that I almost blacked out from running and just doing constant sprints with the gas mask on because you can barely breathe anyways.
Yeah.
And then just Ranger Challenge is a non-stop smoking session from physical fitness event to physical fitness event to then a tactical and very technical events that you have to do well at. So yeah, I don't think anything can beat that in ROTC land as Ranger Challenge.
What was your most rewarding experience in ROTC?
So I'll start. So I had the opportunity to go to air assault school, which it's like a 10-day school. You get to do a lot of cool stuff. It's like physically demanding, but you also have to take tests and things, and you also get to rappel out of a helicopter. So that's cool. But it was a 10-day course, and honestly, just completing that just was very rewarding. You get this little patch on your uniform. But I think it was just one of the first things I did where I was really away from home and in that actual like military environment. Yes, thank you. So that was very rewarding for me. You know, just coming home, just saying, all right. I mean, I did it. You know, what's next? But I think you'll come to find also that there's so many rewarding things in the ROTC program. You know, I mean, after every 6 o'clock PT session, you're like, all right, let's start the day. You know. It's rewarding to be able to do that, you know, when so many other people are sleeping in, you know, not lifting, and you're there, right? You know, you're getting stuff done. So I'd say there's a lot of rewarding things.
Yeah, I would say that Ranger Challenge was most rewarding to myself and the others that I did it with, because it's just overall we rocked about 12 miles with anywhere from 35 to about 70 pounds on you. We did obstacle course, we did shooting exercises, we did the Army combat fitness test over and over again. It was just nothing but a physically and mentally draining weekend, and we took first at that and moved on to the next competition, which is where we competed against other schools, harder schools, and we beat all the schools that aren't landlocked in on every water event. And I would say that that's the most rewarding, to figure out where your limits are and where you can really find what motivates others when you're in that worst possible situation physically and mentally, and just go, hey, we're almost there, keep it going, we're doing awesome, we could win this thing, you just got to put your mind to it right now and go for it. And I would say that that's the most rewarding, is then being able to find out what motivates others and yourselves when push comes to shove and you're just really sucking at it.
But I think one of the other most rewarding things is the individual accomplishments, that knowing that you did something that's great. So like active duty, you have to compete for your branch, and so one of the most rewarding experiences for me was when I got the branch that I wanted, which was infantry. Just because you don't know for sure going into it, and then to get that phone call from your PMS that says, hey, you got the branch that you wanted, is really rewarding. And then I think the next rewarding experience that all cadets kind of look forward to is what's going to happen to me and Travis tomorrow, and Tug soon after that, is commissioning. So like going from cadet to second lieutenant in the United States military. So it's like, those are two incredibly rewarding experiences. One that I haven't yet experienced, but I'm going to tomorrow as of the time that this video was recorded. And the other was one of the prouder moments of my life, just knowing that I worked hard to get what I wanted.
Do you guys have any final advice?
I would just reiterate the willingness to learn. Like I said, you don't know everything, but you're going to learn things. But you have to be willing to accept that you don't know everything, and you're just going to pick things up as you go along, And then secondly, it's just, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. You're going to go through things that don't go exactly how you planned it, but it's a learning experience. It goes back to that willing to learn from your failures, learn from other people's success, stuff like that, and don't be afraid of that failure. It's part of growing up. It's part of everything. Everybody fails. If you don't fail, then wow, respect. But I just say always bounce back from that, and don't be afraid of that failure. Don't be afraid of it. Attack everything. Just attack everything that you do.
I would say do everything you possibly can freshman year. You'll have a bunch of different events that the school will put on. Just do as much as you can. Just go out and have fun your freshman year, while maintaining your grades, of course, and being responsible that way. But that's where you're also going to make a lot of your friends and a lot of the networks that you're going to have the rest of your college career. Because really, when you hit your junior year especially, you're going to be really cut off on the people in your major, and you're not really going to get out and see a lot of those people that are not in your major, not only because of that, but you're going to be in different dorms, in different apartments, or on campus, and it's just going to be really hard to still have those connections. So make those connections your freshman year by doing everything you possibly can.
Yeah, I totally reiterate that some of my best friends don't do anything that I do. I mean, Josh is my roommate, and he's one of my best friends, and the dude is a nursing major and doesn't play sports, loves video games, which I like video games, but it's not like we had a lot of opportunities to interact, and yet we ran into each other, and he's probably one of my closest friends. So yeah, I totally would add on, I would second what Travis said. Yeah, I guess the only thing I can tell you is where the time goes, kind of the thing that I keep thinking as a senior. You as a freshman, you're going to get in, it's going to be a brand new world, but it'll soon be over. And you don't realize how fast it'll go until you're there. So I'm telling you, when we talked about earlier of doing the most you can, saying yes to those opportunities, and do it, because seriously, this is it. It's one of the kind of the most freeing things is knowing that I'm done with college in 3 or 4 days, and then on July 27th I need to be in Georgia. It's the turnaround, but you got to come to terms with the fact that all of you that are going to enter ROTC, or all of you that are considering it, I'm probably not going to see these guys for 5 years. Probably won't see any of my friends from college for 5 years. So, because I'm going to be training for at least a year and a half of that, and then I'm going to be doing my job, and then deployments and life, and I'm going to be all over the country. And so you got to come to terms really quickly that the time goes by really fast, and the time you get you don't get it back. You don't get it back. So make the most of it.